The first news most farmers get that a gas pipeline is to be routed through their property is usually through a news article in their local paper or from the radio, which announces that natural gas is to be introduced into a town or city. Quite naturally, some farmers are anxious, fearing that the pipeline could ruin their farms, upset their way of life and threaten their families and their livelihoods. But this is not true. The purpose of this video is to explain the facts to you. We'll explain what happens after the decision has been made to bring natural gas to an area. We hope it will quell any fears or doubts you may have. We have to say right from the start that a gas pipeline does cause some disruption while it's being constructed. But after the construction is completed, you won't even know it's in the ground. But most important, the pipeline won't cause any loss of productivity from your valuable land. But let's start at the beginning. The pipeline is constructed by the Pipeline Authority, a government instrumentality which was set up by an Act of Parliament in 1973. Since then, the Pipeline Authority, or TPA as we're known, have constructed over 1,700 kilometres of pipeline, delivering natural gas to many towns and cities in the eastern part of Australia. TPA have passed through numerous properties on the way. We are very conscious of your rights as property owners, and we'll do everything possible to cause as little disruption to your lifestyle and to your property. The first step is to ask for a right-of-way through your property. This right-of-way is usually 20 metres wide and travels the full length of the pipeline. We need this width to allow the pipeline equipment to pass down the route. The first person from TPA you'll probably meet is the right-of-way agent, who organises and liaises with you, the property owner. He negotiates the right-of-way and discusses with you any problems you may foresee. He has the full backing of TPA in any decisions he makes. He is your link. Should you have any questions or queries, ask him. And if he doesn't know, it's his job to find out. He'll discuss with you the likely route of the pipeline and looks with you at the positioning of dams, sheds, trees and buildings or any other structures near the pipeline route. He also negotiates compensation for the right-of-way and will at a later date negotiate compensation for any damage that may occur during construction. We try as best we can not to clear trees from the line unless it's absolutely necessary. He carefully notes these features and passes these on to the surveyors. The survey team will arrange a visit to your property and carefully survey and peg the line, always in consultation with you. After the survey is completed, tenders are called for construction of the pipeline. After the contract is awarded, construction can commence. During this phase, the right-of-way agent provides liaison between you, the TPA, and the construction contractor. A team of fencers will first arrive and place temporary brakes in any fence which crosses the pipeline route. These brakes are stock-proof and allow the construction team to travel directly along the route. Should the pipeline route go through a gateway on your property, we will move the gate to another location close by. The reason for this is that we would prefer not to use a gateway directly above the pipeline. If we do replace a gateway, you will be fully consulted on the positioning and all costs will be met by TPA. The next team to arrive are equipped with graders and bulldozers. They clear the pipeline route and remove the topsoil, placing it on one side of the trench line. This topsoil is replaced after the pipe is laid. The next team dig the trench. They have rotary bucket-type diggers and bulldozers for ripping in soft, rocky ground. In some very hard country, it may be necessary to blast rock, but we find that we can get through most country without the need to go to these lengths. The trench is dug to sufficient depth to allow a minimum of 750 millimetres over the pipeline, but in some areas it's buried a lot deeper than that. If you're undertaking specialised agriculture, which requires deep ripping, we can arrange to have the pipeline placed deeper in the ground, but we ask you to tell the right-of-way agent when he first sees you. The dirt from this excavation is placed adjacent to the trench and will be used later to fill the trench. The pipes are next to arrive. They're carefully placed alongside the trench. You'll notice they are generally heavy-walled pipes and have a thick plastic coat. They're manufactured in Australia wherever possible and meet very high standards. They are not your average or garden variety pipes. Each joint is welded. That weld is X-rayed to ensure a complete seal. The welders on this job are experts. After welding, each and every weld is coated with a special tape so that moisture won't corrode the steel. The pipeline coating is then tested with a special machine called a holiday detector, which senses if the plastic coating or tape sections have any holes in them. Should they find any, they are repaired before covering in the pipeline into the trench. The next team place the welded pipeline into the trench using specially equipped crawler-type tractors. Once the pipeline is firmly bedded into the trench, the dirt is replaced. The topsoil is then placed on top and levelled out. Once this is completed, reseeding of the right-of-way is considered in consultation with the landowner. We ask advice from the property owner and from the Department of Agriculture as to the right seed to sow and correct fertiliser application. We try to ensure that the line route is returned to normal as soon as possible. The line is then filled with water and pressurised to a pressure far higher than it will operate at with gas. This is one of the many tests conducted on the pipeline and ensures that the line is completely free of leaks. After this, the pipeline is dewatered and dried. It is then ready for commissioning by TPA staff. The last operation is to restore the fencing. Each fence we have cut is replaced with a new section of fence in keeping with the established fence. Once we've finished the line, the right-of-way is obviously bare for a time, but within a short period, grass or crop is growing. You can farm over the line or have stock running in the same paddock. Very little, if anything, changes when a natural gas pipeline is passed through a property. However, there are a couple of things you can't do above the pipeline. The first is naturally you can't build a shed, house or structure above the pipeline. And the second is, we ask you not to deep rip with a ripper or heavy-duty scarifier above the line. Although we bury the line to a minimum of 750 millimetres below the surface, with some deep ripping operations, the line may be in some danger of being damaged. But as we said before, if you need to deep rip a paddock above the line because of some special farming operation you're involved in, please tell us and we'll try to accommodate you. Quite often we're asked, how safe is the pipeline? Well, of all the pipelines we've constructed so far, we've had only one occurrence out in the desert where the line has ruptured or been punctured. This was due to very special circumstances. There have never been any other circumstances since TPA commenced construction of pipelines. It is quite safe and will not harm you or your family. It doesn't emit radiation and won't suddenly leak. It is buried underground, so it maintains a fairly even temperature. That means that it's not subject to variations in temperature, which you may associate with steel structures like railway lines, which have been known to buckle or warp in extremely hot conditions. The steel pipe we use is specially made, high-strength steel tube, and is covered with a heavy-duty plastic coating. We ensure that corrosion is minimised not only by the thick plastic coating, but by passing a very low electric current through the steel wall of the pipe. This almost eliminates corrosion. The line is inspected regularly with a piece of equipment called a pig. This ingenious device is placed in the line at a scraper station and is run along inside the pipe. It records any variation in pipe thickness. Any variations from the norm are acted upon immediately. The complete pipeline is continuously monitored. There are monitoring relay stations positioned at regular distances along the complete length of the pipeline. These checkpoints have computer relays which send messages back to a central control station. The sensors check on many things which may affect the safe operation of the pipeline. If any variation occurs, action can be taken immediately. As well, regular aerial inspections using the TPA helicopter are carried out along the right-of-way, and occasionally a survey along the line is made by vehicle. All of these activities are directed from the main base and control centre at Young. TPA has a special right-of-way section as well. It is the right-of-way people's job to look after both the right-of-way, check signs and fences, and carry out remedial work if, for example, erosion occurs. And how safe is natural gas? Natural gas is one of the safest fuel sources known to man. The gas in the pipeline as it comes from the wellhead is non-toxic. It also has no smell. The smell you associate with gas is introduced into the system before the gas gets to the consumer. It is also lighter than air, so if any should escape, that's unlikely, it disappears into the atmosphere quickly. Well, that's the story on the pipeline. We hope this video will help you understand our operations, and we hope it will remove any fears you may have had about a pipeline crossing your property. Over the years, many hundreds of property owners have had a pipeline pass through their properties, and we would like to thank them for the way they have assisted the Pipeline Authority.